As is the case with all communities, the job market is a great concern for our community, just like it is for all Ontarians. However, in our particular community, there are some people who feel like they face disadvantages in the job application process and more broadly in seeking opportunities and being granted those opportunities. How would you plan to address these specific concerns for this community, but also more broadly in terms of jobs and the economy?
First and foremost, I think it's important to say out loud that any kind of discrimination, whether it's in employment or anything else, is not something that should be accepted in our province. And so we continue to work as hard as we can to reduce barriers to employment and reduce barriers to every other kind of opportunity to live a completely full and engaged life in all aspects of society.
And how do you do that?
Well, a big part of it is making sure that we are supporting youth, for example, that we're providing proactive programs for job opportunities, placements. Particularly, one of our plans is to provide 27,000 co-op opportunities. So acknowledging that there are barriers and making sure that that program is adjusted so that we have a fair access or an equitable access to those placements. Because that not only helps the young person then once they've graduated to graduate with some job experience, but it also helps the employer because then they can hire somebody that can hit the ground running as soon as they get hired.
And what about for people who aren't students? So for example, is there anything that you have in your platform to make it easier for foreign credentials to be recognized?
Well, this is a big frustration that has existed for decades now in our province, and it's very frustrating that we see other provinces do better when it comes to making sure that people who come from other parts of the world are able to not only practice in whatever their field is that they bring with their skills with them, but that they're able to be accredited much more easily in other provinces than they are here in Ontario. And again, this is something that has been ongoing for a very long time. And one of the things that we need to do is, instead of recreating the wheel, look at the successes in other provinces and make changes in Ontario that will help reduce those barriers. I have a concierge in the building that I live in Toronto, and he's a family doctor. He's a family doctor, but he's working as a concierge in a building after 3 times trying to take the test to get his local or his Canadian credentials. It shouldn't be that hard. It should not be that difficult.